everywhere, GBS.
The following program has been rated GE by the Kenya Film Classification Board. It is therefore suitable for general family viewing.
Hello viewer, good morning and welcome to Chungu cha Jamii. At Chungu cha Jamii, we talk about several things. Especially we dwell on relationships, we dwell on marriage, we dwell on parenting. And today, we're going to guide you and teach you and instruct you by the help of God on how to find the right partner. With me in studio is a beautiful lady who is going to introduce herself. My name is Betty Akuku. I am your host. Please remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel at GBS Kenya. Welcome, my guest.
Thank you so much. My name's Reverend Lizzie Kamonde. I am so excited to be here today. I'm a pastor and a pastor in a church called Manifest House International. And also I have my own ministry that I run with, every month that is called the Beauty for Ashes Ministry.
Wow.
Yeah.
Welcome, Lizzie.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Good to see you.
Good to see you too. I'm so excited to be here.
Lovely.
Thank you.
You're looking really lovely.
It's the glory of God.
Glad to meet you today.
Amen.
And I'm also excited about the viewer who is seated today, ready to watch and listen to this conversation we're about to have.
Yeah.
Today we're talking about finding the right partner.
Yeah.
Really, it's not easy for someone to find the right partner.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people do not know what to look at before they can actually settle and say, I have found the right partner.
Yeah.
And if this was an easy task, you'll realize that people will get married and stick forever together.
Yeah.
But somehow people get married and without a longer time staying together, they are apart, you know, for reasons that they do not want.
Yeah.
When everybody is getting married, they say, we will live together forever, happily ever after.
Exactly.
And this is possible if you find the right partner. Liz, how did you find your right partner? Tell us a bit of your story.
Let me talk a little bit about my story because many are the time that people enter into marriages with a lot of expectation.
Yes.
You enter a marriage because of a specific thing. That is what drew you to the marriage. That is what drew you to the man. But after some time, when you enter in the marriage, you find the expectation that was there, it's no longer there anymore.
Okay.
And that is where battles in love start coming. And that is where we have found there is a lot of broken marriages because some people enter in the marriage maybe having an expectation, but when you enter, the expectation it's no longer there. I am a single mother of one. And I used to be married.
Okay.
But I got married when I guess is the pressure of people where there is a specific age where everybody is telling you, we want to see your family. And actually, when you go to a country, everybody is coming with a family. And the pressure was so much on me. And I got married. I got married because people said so. I didn't.
So people pushed you.
Yeah,
because you were in a certain age.
Yeah, I was in a certain age. I was a pastor, and there was a lot of expectation.
Because when you're a pastor, you're supposed to be married. Because how do you guide people? How do you counsel people? Because the church is not just of a single people.
Exactly.
The church is of the married community, the single people as a whole.
Yeah.
But today you're talking about finding the right partner.
Yeah.
Because you really want to help somebody find the right partner.
Yeah.
And not to do the mistakes that you did.
Exactly.
Okay, I get you.
And when I got married, that is the time I realized that there was some expectation I had. And I guess even the man that I got married to, he had also some expectation. In which when we entered the marriage, the expectation was not there anymore.
Were you in love when you're getting married?
I wasn't in love.
You were pushed by
I
your
wasn't
parents,
in love.
Your church leaders?
I was pushed with people.
Okay.
I can say I was pushed in people generally. I was pushed into it, and I was in a place where I was so helpless.
How long did you prepare to settle with this man?
I think some months. It was a very rush thing. It was some months.
Because marriage is supposed to last.
Yes.
Marriage is supposed to stay.
Yeah.
Unless there are two beings forced into this union together, then you can find that people are not living together and people have to part ways.
Yeah, exactly.
You know? Because the idea of God of marriage is that there should be no separation at all.
Exactly.
So people pushed you into marriage.
I was pushed into it. But Betty, what I want to tell you is that every time when you are a man or when you are a person that you want to get into marriage, what I've discovered is that God will speak to you. God will speak to you. There is an inner voice you'll always hear. There is an inner voice that you cannot lie. Anybody else can lie, but there is an inner voice that tells you that what you're doing is not the right thing.
Okay.
I knew it very well.
At that time.
I knew it.
That this is not the right marriage for you.
I knew it very well. I knew it so clear.
Were you born again?
I was born again.
Did you have a pastor?
I had a pastor.
Did you speak to him?
I spoke to him.
How about your parents?
I also spoke to them.
Tell us what they said.
Okay, my parents were like, we don't think you're making the right choice.
Okay.
But the church where I was, there was a lot of expectation because I was a leader. And they were like, you need to be with someone.
How long ago was that, Liz?
That was 5 years ago.
You were not so old.
I wasn't that old.
I know.
I wasn't that old.
Because you're not old neither.
Yeah, yeah. And, but I knew it. But I was in a place where I was so helpless. I was in a place like I was looking for someone I can talk to. I was looking for someone who can tell me that you can say no. I was looking for someone who can be able to stand with me. Because the people who were surrounding me that time, they were telling me, this is it. You have to do it. And this was not a man of my dream. This was not a man that I was like, this is what I really want.
So you had expectations of your own as well of this man.
Exactly.
Okay.
But my expectation was cut off.
Okay.
They were completely cut off. And now I was in a place like, you have to do this. And I remember even in the day of my marriage, actually they were calling me and they were telling me, we are still waiting for you, because they saw I can change my mind anytime. They knew.
Who now? Your husband's place.
My husband's place.
Yes.
They knew I can change my mind anytime because they knew from the word go, this thing I had already said no to it. But now I was in a place like, I've already told people, what will people say about it?
Okay.
And there is a place I was like, let me just enter into it. But Betty, the moment I enter into it, I knew very well I've entered in the wrong thing. And that immediately when I enter into it, I felt that time as a person, I was like, yes, let everybody know I'm a missus.
Okay.
But later on, maybe a month down the line, that is where I started seeing the reality. Like now, even my vision, my life have come to a standstill. I don't even have a vision anymore. I'm just there. I don't know where I'm heading to. And
what was the exact problem that you could not fit into this? Because you were not getting married to a woman.
Yeah.
You were getting married to a man as God designed it.
Yeah.
What precisely was that kickoff that you could not stand, that was making it not to work at all? Just attitude and lack of love?
Yeah, we were two different people.
Okay.
We were not compatible.
Did you ever court?
We didn't court.
Oh, really?
We didn't court. It was a rush marriage. It was a rush marriage. It was a very rush. It's a thing that, as in within a month, like it have happened. So we did, even that time that you are coming to know each other, like you have like a 1 week together, I started seeing things they are not in place. And that is the time I retrieved back and I was like, I don't think I'm into it. But I was in a place where people, they had a lot of expectation from me. And now I got married because of people. I got married because I need to meet the expectation of men.
And a lot of people do that.
Yes.
People get into marriage because they're not able to find their partner by themselves.
Yes.
I really want to learn from you.
Yeah.
And also my viewer is very interested into finding out how do you find out this right partner, so that I avoid being pushed into it. I avoid doing it for other people, and I know that once I get into it, I have to survive it.
Yes, it's true.
Okay,
it's true, because marriage is something that when you enter, you've entered in an agreement, and
a covenant.
It's a covenant you've entered into, and you have to be sure that this is a covenant that you'll fulfill.
Okay. And
let me tell you, Betty, when I enter into it, and when I discover it is not working, and completely it wasn't working.
What was not working?
I've said we were two different people, and we couldn't agree of anything.
On anything at all.
There is nothing we could have agreed on to.
Because when people get married, immediately, in my own experience, there are no children. You know, unless it is a blended family. But when you're just a single man and a single woman, there are no children. Your parents and relatives are living away from you guys. You have been given some time to honeymoon and bond and become friends and learn from each other and learn about, you know, the negatives and the positives, the weaknesses and the strengths of this person. And so because of this, no one gets married to an angel. So then you're going to find weaknesses of this person that you're going to choose, you know, to live with or to discuss through how you are going to live with that person. You know? So what is it that was so difficult that you could not agree on anything?
We couldn't agree. The first place is that when I got married, and in the first place, I'm a servant of God. And when I got married, I did not put my priorities right. To know that I need to get married to a man that's gonna be able to help me to make my vision become reality. So
was your husband a pastor?
He's a pastor.
Okay.
He was a pastor.
Okay.
And when I got married, I find that we were like competing. We were competing.
You were in the same ministry?
We were in the same ministry.
Okay.
And I found that we are competing.
Okay.
It's like we are in the same level, so it's like we are trying to become. So it reached a place that he couldn't believe anymore with my ministry, and it reached a place he had to put me aside, and it reached a place I became just a woman, just a housewife, just to bear children. And after that, so many things occurred. So many things occurred between our relationship, because it even reached a place where actually he left me when we were some months old in the marriage. That is the time he left me. And actually he told me...
To go for ministry, or he quit the marriage?
He quit marriage that time.
He was the one who quit?
He quit marriage that time.
Okay.
And I remember talking to him at that time, and because immediately we got married, and after some months I realized I'm already pregnant. And I remember talking to him, and for him telling me I should move on. He have already moved on.
Okay. And you already moved on?
That is what he told me. Those are the words he told me. He told me, I've already moved on. So you better move on. And I told him, what do you mean you've already moved on? And he was like, this is a marriage that wasn't supposed to be. And this is a marriage that we have found ourselves into. And
wait a minute. Was he also pushed into it?
According to, he feels also he was pushed into it.
Okay.
And that time he told me he's out of it. And I should go to my family. I should tell them that it's over.
And that time you were paged already?
I'm already pregnant. Betty, it was a very, very tough moment for me, because I didn't know what to tell people.
I know.
People looked up to me. I had sons and I had daughters.
You are both servants of God.
Yes.
And now your marriage is separating.
I'm telling you.
Okay.
And I couldn't understand. And he told me that it's over. He have already moved on. I better move on. And I really stayed. I really struggled with denial, because I couldn't believe.
Yes.
And I could really try to work it out. I could really actually that time he was out of the country.
For the people's sake.
For the people's sake. And that time he was out of the country and he's not talking anywhere. I'm already pregnant. My pregnant became big. People, they're asking me, my family, they're asking me, and I am trying to like to cover it up, and I'm telling them it's working.
Yes.
And I'm telling them, yeah, we've just talked like an hour ago.
Yes.
And that is the time, like 6 months, we've never talked with this man.
I know what you're saying.
We've never talked with 6 months, we've never talked.
Yes.
And I'm trying to cover it up to people, and I'm trying to tell people that it is working. And I gave birth. The 9th month came, and I put to birth with my baby. And when I put to birth, I was in a place where now I did not know. What will I tell people? People want to come and see my baby.
I know.
What am I supposed to tell them?
The pastor's baby.
The pastor's baby.
I know.
I don't know what
has been born.
I don't know what to tell them. And I remember at this time, the man was out of the country. I remember my baby was supposed to be dedicated. And I remember us begging him so much to agree to come. Because this is the time that everybody have to come.
I know.
Everybody, the baby is supposed to be dedicated.
Reality should now check in.
And I remember he was out of the country. We really begged him to come. And he gave his terms. He said, if you people, you want me to come, this is what you people should put down.
Again.
He was out of the country, so he had to say his demand, and his demand was met. And he came when my baby was 3 months old. He came the day of the dedication of the baby. He came and we went to the church and we tried to show everybody all is well.
I know.
We are together and it's working.
It's called a marriage show.
Yes, we really did it so well. And everybody was like, wow, she's happily married and all that.
I know.
But my family, they were like, something is not right.
A lot of question marks.
Yes. And every time they could call me, even I remember they did for me a baby shower. They could call me, they tried to ask me, and I told them, it's working. It's working. And after some months, when he came, when the baby was 3 months, and after some months, he left. And that time when he was here, we tried to work it out. But it wasn't working, but we tried to work it out. And after that, he left the country. And when he left the country, I was trying to still show people, yes, it's working. My marriage,
the strength of a woman.
And I was trying to tell people, yeah, you guys, you didn't see him. He was around. And I'm really trying to prove to people it is working.
I know.
And he left the country. And when he left, immediately he left. Actually, he left when we were in good terms. And immediately when he left, he off his phone. He changed his line.
Oh,
I couldn't get to him. And Betty, the stress started me again. And I didn't know how to put myself together. I didn't know how to do it. And I remember that time I went into prayers. I went to pray and I was asking God. I was crying to God and I was telling God, God, restore back my marriage. I was crying to God.
Now at this time you want it.
Now, because now I'm like, I need to show people it's working.
Yes. What are
and
you
I'm
going to
already
do?
into it.
Yes, you have a baby.
I have a
pastor,
baby.
you
I'm
have a
pastor.
ministry.
I have to work it out.
Yes.
And I
Who will
remember,
believe you if you break?
I'm telling you. And I remember crying to God and telling God, God, because that time I was like, I really need to start like developing love in this. I have to work it out.
Yes.
I'm in it. I have to work it out.
The woman really works.
Yeah, because my testimony matters so much. I have to show people it is working. And I remember that time I went to prayers. I went in a camp. I went to pray. And I was really crying to God and I was telling God, God, restore back my marriage. And I was telling God, bring back the man back in my life. And I remember that is the time God spoke to me. And God asked me, what are you telling me to make? Did you involve me in the first place?
From the beginning.
Did you involve me in this whole thing?
So from the finding,
yes,
you never did the right thing. I wonder what that right path is.
Yes.
Because a lot of people make mistakes
yes,
without knowledge.
Yes.
You know?
Yes.
Is there a procedure
yes,
that someone ought to follow
yes,
when they are ripe finding the right partner?
Exactly. And I remember God speaking to me and God asking me, did you involve me in the first place? I am not even aware that you're married. You know, Because whatever you're expecting God to intervene, it is what he started. Now I'm telling God to intervene something that he did not start.
I thought that nothing takes God by surprise.
Betty,
I thought nothing surprises God.
Nothing surprises God. But there are things that you cannot involve God when he's not the one who is the founder of
started.
it.
Okay.
He's not the one who started it up. So how do you expect him to get involved and to fight for you this battle? Because God will fight for you a battle that he started.
Okay.
And he will know very well that there are going to be battles along the way.
Okay.
But I will be able to give you the grace to be
Because
able.
there are people
Yes.
who got into problems,
Yes.
and got into situations,
Yes.
and they never involved God,
Yes.
because they never knew.
Yes.
They did not know.
Yes.
And if they did, they despised
Yes.
his presence
Yeah.
and his importance.
Yeah, exactly.
At what time, how are they supposed to then repent and get back and say, God, you
The
know,
thing is-
for real, I made a mistake,
Yeah.
but now have mercy on me, because God is also merciful.
Yeah, God is merciful. And
Yes.
what happened is that you will do whatever you have done. You'll come to God. God will forgive you. But the thing is, the consequences you'll suffer.
Okay.
God doesn't have any problem with forgiving you. He will forgive you, but you'll suffer the consequences.
Okay.
So the question is, are you ready to suffer the consequences? Are you ready to walk with the consequences that they're involved into it? Because God doesn't have any problem of forgiving you. And that time that God asked me, and he asked me, you didn't involve me
from the
into it. But he told me the choice is yours. But God was so clear to me, speaking to me, this is not my will.
Okay.
This is not my will. And I couldn't understand. I couldn't digest it.
Okay.
Because I was telling God, you can't. This is the last thing you can do. You cannot tell me that.
Making you break.
You cannot tell me to quit. God, you cannot tell me to quit. And I remember I really struggled so much, because I was like, how will people say? And I remember that time, Betty, God sending someone to me. And this is a person who didn't know me at all. And this person came and told me that there are things that God has spoken to me about you. You have a very great ministry, but God is speaking to me and he's telling me there is the father of your child is not your husband.
Oh, really?
The father of my child used to be, he had a wife before.
Oh, he had a wife before.
He had a wife before.
Okay.
And they had a small misunderstanding.
And you guys had a wedding as well?
We had a wedding.
Okay.
And they had some misunderstanding at that place of saying, please, it's not working. And you're like, there is not,
quits.
Yeah, it quits completely. But in the eyes of God, that was already marriage.
Okay.
So when I enter into it, God told me.
What mistake do you think, Liz, that you did? What mistake do you think you did?
Yeah.
Is it that you did not research well?
I did not
because
research
there
well.
are people
Yeah.
who are looking,
Yeah.
for you to find
Yeah.
the right partner,
Yeah.
you must be out on the lookout already.
Yeah.
You must be outside searching.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So while searching,
Yeah.
what are some of those mistakes that you made?
Yeah.
Didn't you do your research well?
Yeah.
Didn't you take your time to know this person? What mistake did
Yeah.
you learn from that? What lesson did you learn from that mistake?
I learned one lesson that for everything you do, first of all, involve God.
Okay.
Because sometimes we are like, we are so much into the height of the thing, and you feel like, please, I don't even need to hear God.
But Liz, once you are a pastor,
Yeah.
the person you're married to is a pastor,
Yeah.
number one assurance you have
Yeah.
is that being a servant of God,
Yeah.
the one who serves before him, serving
Yeah.
the people,
Yeah.
I mean, God is with me, God is hearing me, and
Yeah.
God is going to guide me.
But sometimes it reaches a place where we tend to like, people tend to like assume God is in it. Assume God is speaking. Okay. Assume God is. I remember that time, Betty, even having time to pray, to even listen to God. But that time I couldn't even hear anything. Because there is that which I was expecting God to speak at that time.
Okay.
There was that thing like, yes, let's enter into it. So I've already figured my mind this is what I want to hear. This is what I want to hear. And sometimes you hear what is not supposed to be heard at that time, because you already have your own expectation to hear. And that time I didn't really like dig deep to really like have quiet time to really listen to God.
Okay. But so that is the thing you're saying people need to do.
Yes.
They need to first research and have time with God and listen to God.
Exactly. And let me tell you one thing that I've discovered, Betty. God will always speak to you. The inner voice. There is an inner voice that God will speak to you through. You know, there is a voice that you cannot deny. There is a voice that you'll fight. You'll battle with it. But you know very well there is a voice that is telling you no.
Once I read the Bible, I think it's in the book of Isaiah 55, 5, 7, 8, around there. And it was talking about God's ways being not our ways. You know, his ways, his thoughts are different and far from ours.
Exactly.
So sometimes I'm thinking, this is the right person. But actually God is saying, this is not the right person.
God is not.
And sometimes it's vice versa. So how do I really confirm and know that this time, this is the right person? Because my thoughts and God's thoughts are so different.
What I'm saying is that there is an inner voice. God always, there is an inner voice that you cannot lie. You can lie other voices that they are speaking so loud to. There are some other voices that they are speaking so loud to you. But there is an inner spirit, there is an inner man that speaks inside of you, that Betty is telling you that what you're doing is not right. But sometimes we ignore the inner voice and we tend to be like, no, maybe it's my own thing. But mostly God speaks through that inner voice. Mostly God will guide you through that inner voice. There is peace. God gives you peace. There is something that you'll do and God will give you peace. And he will confirm to you there is peace.
Reverend Liz, there are times that when you're seeking to find the right partner, there are things you are considering so highly. Like your expectations, as you put them earlier. Your expectation is that this man would love me and do 1, 2, 3, A to Z, you know? And then they don't do according to my expectation. Is this still the right partner for me? Should I follow them? Do my expectations have to be met by them from the beginning?
Your expectation, the thing is, you have quoted very well, our ways, they are not God's way. And our expectation, it is not God's expectation. And what is, sometimes God will tell you that this is, I've had people saying that, God spoke to me about my husband, and I said no. Because that was not what I expected. But that is the will of God. That is the will of God. Sometimes God will tell you to do things. God will tell you a specific thing that you're not comfortable with. But there will be an assurance inside of you. You know very well that this is God who is speaking to me. There is that inner peace that is telling you that this is God who is speaking to you. The flesh will tell you no. The flesh will speak so loud and it will tell you no. But there is, you have it so inside of you that is telling you that, that is making you to understand that surely God is in this thing. But the flesh will be telling you no. The flesh will be telling you no. But now it is up to you to really know which path are you supposed to follow. Are you supposed to follow the path that is maybe this is my expectation of I need a, because most of the people, they have this expectation, I want a tall, handsome, this kind of a man. This is the kind of a man that I want. That is the expectation that you have. And here it is, that man that you want is not coming on your way. And here it is, God brings someone else on your way and God is telling you, this is the man for you. But your expectation is, this is the man. And sometimes you're like, God, this is, you enter into it.
So but people who are out finding the right partner should ignore their expectations. They should not follow them.
Expectation, it is good to have expectation.
It is good.
It is good to have expectation. But let me tell you, you may have a very big list of the kind of a man you want. But let me tell you, some of the things that you want, those things will be met when you're already with that man. When you're ready with that woman, maybe you want this kind of a man. But God is many times people, they are going for married people today. Why? Because this man is already packaged.
Okay.
Is that kind of a man that you want? Is that a dream man that you want? Because the woman have already packaged that man. The man have already packaged this woman. And you're like, wow, that is the kind of a woman I want. So, but many at the time when God speaks to you, he expects you to take that low thing, to go and make it the finished work, that everybody will be saying, wow.
But people don't know this. People don't know this. That's why they're not able to sustain the relationship.
Yeah, because sometimes you want a man. I've heard so many people saying that I want a man that is driving. And you yourself, are you driving?
You could be and you could not be
Yeah,
driving.
you could be driving.
Yes, so and what are you supposed to look at when you're finding or looking for the right partner? What is it you will see in a person and say, this is the right person? How long should that take you?
The first thing that you need to consider, it's a man that is open to, someone who is open to you.
Okay.
Someone who is so open to you that he doesn't have like he's ready for you to penetrate to his life. He doesn't have any hidden thing.
Okay.
When you see someone who have like he's telling you, you know, he have a lot of reason as to why you cannot do a specific thing. Maybe you want to go and visit this person, and this person has a lot of, you know, so many people have been put in hold there because the person is telling you, no, you know, there is this and this and this. This person have never opened for you his whole life.
But you know, Reverend Lizzie, when you're trying to find the right person, you are not sure that this is the person, either the man or the woman. You're not sure that this is it, you know. So you're actually here trying. You still have another trial to make on somebody else, you know. And so this person as well is in your situation. And they're also not ready and willing to open up too much because they're not sure whether you will take it in or not. You know.
And that is where there is courtship. That is where courtship come in. Because in the time of courtship, there are things that you're supposed to look into. That person that you need to get into marriage into. The first place is you need to look for someone that submits to God.
Okay.
Because if that person submits to God, that means this person will be able to submit to you. And if that person hears God, that means you're secured, because if anything goes wrong in the marriage, you'll be able to go to God because he hears God. God will be able to speak to him.
But there are people who hear God and they do not, and they don't care about their families. You know, if you had God and God said to you to go to a certain place and minister for certain months, then you relate your family in the name of having had God. Is that what you will do?
No, I cannot say that because your family is your first priority. And let me tell you, God honors marriage. God respects marriage. And your first ministry is your family. You cannot say that you'll go to touch other people whereas your family is suffering. You cannot put other people priority because I've seen that thing. Pastors, they have this thing of I need to do missions, I need to do this, whereas your family is suffering, whereas you don't have any, then that is not ministry. That is not ministry. Because God is expecting you, your first ministry is your family. Put your family in order before you go out to touch other people. So there is no way you can put your family in chaos, whereas you say you're going to touch other people outside there.
Okay. Viewer, our SMS line is 21144. Please text us, let us know what you're saying about this conversation. Truly, how do you find the right partner for your marriage? How do you spend eternity with someone you do not know? The Reverend Lucy is here with us today. She's taking us through her own story and how you can actually find the right partner. Stay on. We'll be right back.
We're going to be in the kitchen learning how to do a few tricks. that you're going to get the chance to cook this in your homes because it's very quick, it's very healthy, and it's very delicious. It's so nice. I love it.
I know.
How many of you use your real names on Facebook? Wengine ni sweetie pretty.
You must succeed in being an eagle and not a chicken.
I'm seeing myself owning the biggest media house in Africa. Yes, I could employ you, in fact. Yes.
All right, now it is going to another direction. But that's a question.
When you are born and when you grow up, now you do the work. You become a person who likes the country. You understand, right? I mean, not getting a job at Kenya Power, right?
And you know what? Who you are online is exactly who you are offline. And who you are offline is who you are online.
여러 군데 가서 강연을 많이 해보는데
So I've been to many places to give lecture.
우나일레 와서 이러면
Whenever I say "Unaile wa sasa,"
눈썹으로 인사를 대답을 해요.
they respond with their eyebrows.
There is a card that makes paying for almost everything easy like ABCs. No need to make trips to the ATMs to withdraw money or carry cash around. That's the Equity Bank Visa card, accepted everywhere you see the Visa sign. Use it to pay for food and drinks, fuel, shopping, pay for your Uber ride, shop online, travel and hotel bookings, and so much more. Pay conveniently and free of charge. Card security is guaranteed thanks to the chip and PIN technology that protects your card from fraud. Start paying with your Equity Bank Visa card now and enjoy the convenience of not carrying cash.
Hello viewers, welcome to Women's View.
What you see is what you get.
Very exciting and fun.
We grew up in a certain community and we were told this is how women are.
Everybody was coming with what they can get.
This is not a joke. You signed up for life.
Very interesting.
A woman is this.
You want somebody else to do something for you that you can do for yourself.
You know what, you're doing a great job. You keep doing it.
You are going to school to become a musician. Like, seriously?
Okay, hit. The show airs every weekday from 11 a.m. to noon and is repeated every evening from 7 to 8 p.m. I look forward to seeing you there.
And this is G Radio.
Hello guys and welcome. This is G Radio, #1 TV show, and we're coming live at GBS TV. And I'm your host, Isaac Tabitha.
I'm the co-host, Evan Tinyari. As usual, we have our DJ Deko. You can also send your views on my Instagram page and Tinyari_Eva.
And also you can get me on our Facebook page as Isaac Tabitha. Thank you so much, guys.
Keep it here.
Everywhere, GBS.
Welcome back, viewer. Our SMS line is 21144. Please feel free to text us in, watch our YouTube channel, GBS Kenya, and also participate as much as you can as we have this discussion with Reverend Daisy. Reverend, before we went on a break, we were getting to digest more on how do we find the right partner. There's a young person who is watching you today. There's a single mom like you who has made their mistakes in life, and they now really want to avoid and overcome all those challenges, you know, because they have you who has already walked that path for them.
Yeah.
I don't think they should repeat the same mistakes.
Yeah.
I also don't think they should fail when it comes to finding the right partner.
Yeah.
Please guide them.
The first place I want to talk, the first thing I want to talk about is that let God be your center.
Okay.
Because when God is your center, God will guide you. God will direct you. And I've said that God speaks in one way or another. When you involve God into it, God will direct you.
Okay.
And God will always signal you when it's not right. God will always put a signal onto there are things that God will make you know that something is there, something will come up, and you'll know that God, because God speaks in one way or another.
Okay.
So God will point out some things, and you'll know that, am I really in the right track? Am I really doing the right thing? So the first thing is, let God be your center.
Okay.
Involve God in it.
Okay.
Don't do it on your own.
How about the ones who want to be guided?
Yeah.
Is it okay for them to be guided and be told,
yeah,
you need to marry so-and-so and so-and-so need to marry you?
That is the biggest mistake people they are doing today.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I thought it's okay because sometimes you don't know who the right partner is.
My dear.
There are people who have grown up to 45.
Yeah.
They have never found the right partner.
Yeah.
Because they do not know how.
Yeah.
And because they don't know themselves very well.
Yeah.
They also don't want to trust in themselves. What is wrong with that?
Betty, that is what I did. I was told that is how my own was like. This is, someone found the person for me, and it's like, you guys can make a good couple, but after that you found we are two different people.
Okay.
The best thing, Betty, let God guide you. He guides our step. Pray, let God guide you.
You know, people pray.
Yeah, and let me tell you where. At the rightful time, the Bible talks about that no one will lack his mate. Nobody will lack his mate. Everybody has his own mate. But many at the time, we are in a rush.
Okay.
We want it now. We have already given God a time frame. We are telling God, from now until this time, I have to be married.
So we have to take time.
You have to take time.
We have to seek from God.
We have to seek from God because we want...
And we should not be guided into it.
Let nobody
by the clergy.
Let no people tell you this is what they should guide you when you already found the person. But let no person tells you that this is who you should marry.
You know, the reason I beg to disagree a little is because when somebody is making their steps in life, it is good for them to rely on those who have been there. It is good for them to rely on the servants of God, because the servants of God do the works of God. You know, they are doing the work on God's behalf. So relying on them is better because they know it. Sometimes also, when you think about the children of Israel in those days, God could never talk to them directly. God always spoke through Moses. So they will tell Moses the issues, and Moses will get back to God, and vice versa. You know, Moses was the link and the point of communication. So many times, we may not be able to go to God directly by ourselves, and we need that person, you know, because sometimes you look at yourself, you find that you're so weak, you don't know so many things, and so you want guidance, you want to be guided and be told, and you go to your pastor and say, Pastor, truly I think I have gotten to the age of getting married, but I'm not sure how to find my partner. Because I don't trust myself, please help me out on this. What's wrong with that, please?
Now, let me tell you, Betty, you should have a mentor. Everybody should have a mentor.
Yes.
Who you goes to and tell him, this is what I feel.
Okay.
Someone who walks the road with you. But what I am defining is someone who is choosing for you who to marry. That is what I say no to it.
Yes, your mentor could actually say, this brother is very good. I think the two of you can make a very perfect match.
Let me tell you, Betty, I can be very good in preaching, but I'm not a good wife.
Okay.
You can really admire me when I'm preaching, but I might not be a wife, a good wife. So you cannot define somebody because of the way you know the person.
Okay, so when you're finding the right partner, you're not supposed to look at the things they do.
You know.
Just because she's a good preacher, she may not be a good wife.
Exactly.
Just because he earns a lot of money, he may not be a good husband.
Exactly.
So these are not the guidelines that people
This is not
because
the
what people are looking at nowadays is what does he have? You know, what does he do? And where did she go to school? How many degrees does she have? Before I can actually make her my right partner. You know? So a lot of things that people are looking at today are such a misguiding factor. Okay.
Exactly. So, exactly. And those are the things that I'm saying that you enter in the marriage with a lot of expectation. And after that, because you have entered in a marriage because of money, because this person does work in this place, and after down the line, after some years, he's no longer working there. So the thing that made you enter into it, it's no longer there.
Okay.
So you cannot stay in it. You now start having a lot of fault in the marriage because the thing that made you enter is no longer there. It's already gone.
Lizzie, I need to know from you what your plans moving forward are. You know? Because right now, you are a single mom, inspiring so many single moms. And I want to believe that you're very happy, even though not married. Do you have any plans of still finding a right partner now with the knowledge that you have?
Of course I have.
Of course.
Of course I have.
Okay.
And at least my experience have really taught me so much.
Okay.
And today I am very careful.
Okay.
And today I normally hold singles meeting where I normally talk to young people because I won't like them to do the mistakes that I did in my life. At least what I went through, it have really taught me so much. Where today I am in a place where I can be able to tell someone what, at least I can have a voice upon someone's life because what I went through, it have really taught me a lot in my life. But of course, I am looking forward for God to bring that man, that my king, on my way.
On your way. So what are you doing as you prepare? You know, what are you doing in your search to finding this right partner? Because I know there are many people in your position who have also been disappointed, who for one reason or another, you know, it may not be like your case where some people forced you into it. This may have been a marriage that never worked, and somebody has realized, I was not submissive. Somebody has realized, I'm the one who was wrong. You know, the other man has realized, that lady only wanted money. So do they now need to work hard and get money before they can get a better relationship?
Now, let me say that the marriage I was in, however it was, I also know that there are things that I also did. And those are the things that I've been working towards myself.
Okay.
I've been working towards myself to like, this is who, because sometimes people will tell you that this is who you are, and sometimes you're like, no, I'm not like that. But I've tend to accept like, I also need to work on myself.
Okay.
I cannot say, there are things that I need to work on myself so that when God bring in the next marriage, the things that maybe probably were being aired in my first marriage will not be there, will not start occurring in the same
Reverend,
marriage.
you're basically saying that for you to find the right partner, you had better be made the right person yourself. You'll be able to attract in that way the right partner. So right now, you discovered the mistakes that you made, and you're now trying to polish them and work on them so that you are able to attract the right partner because you're already the right person. Okay?
Because what I've seen is that people have a lot of expectation. People normally say that this is the kind of a man I want. This is the kind of woman I want.
And they're not the kind of people that they
you have refused to develop yourself. But you want that person to find you. But you need to develop yourself so that even that person, wherever he is, he's saying that this is the kind of a person I want. So you need to develop yourself so that even when this person comes, say, surely this is the kind of a person I want. But many people, what they do, they sit down and they say that if God brings the person, he will love me the way I am. Please.
That is not right.
It's not right.
They should not just sit.
They cannot
wait
sit
and say,
no.
If that person is genuine and honest, if they truly love me, they will love me like this. I don't need to take care of myself at all.
Betty, you need to take care of yourself.
Okay.
You need that man. There's some, whatever you have told, this is the kind of a man I want. I mean, even that person, wherever he is, he has his own prayer request.
He's also looking for a woman like this,
and
like
sometimes
this.
Sometimes God allows us to go through some things in our life
to shape us.
To shape us. To shape us to become that which, because there is someone somewhere praying and is telling God, God, I need this kind of a woman. But sometimes we refuse to be shaped. Sometimes we refuse and we are like, we become so stubborn to God. We become so stubborn and we are like, we don't want, God is telling you, do this, and you're like, no. So at the end of the day, we really prolong our timing. We really prolong our time of where we were supposed to enter into it. We prolong it because we are becoming so stubborn. And now like God cannot take a finished thing to a finished person, because God, this is a person that God have already molded. So he cannot take you to that person. And this is a person that will pay the price. He cannot take you to this person when you're not yet finished. When the ones that kusumbua huyu mtu mwingine.
Okay. Liz, I am also concerned about the people who sit under you to listen to your instructions and guidelines, knowing very well that as a pastor running a ministry, you do not have a husband. How possible and easy is it for them to submit to you? Because there are a lot of single people who lost their voices because of their position for now.
Exactly.
You know?
Exactly.
You are currently a single mom.
Yes.
But you're aspiring to get married to the right man. You know? You're actually calling him a king waiting. You know? How possible have you made it that people sitting under you are able to heed to your instructions? You overlooking your position of a single mom. You know, being a pastor.
Now, Becky, I understood that the enemy sometimes uses your past.
Okay.
And he uses what you've gone through to silence your voice. But what I understand is that the Bible says that everything that happened for a reason.
Yes.
And I say that whatever the enemy meant for evil, the Bible says that God will turn it for our own good. And I made it that whatever the enemy meant it for evil, God will turn it for my own good.
Yes, because there are people who got pregnant and gave back to children. There are people who reached a certain age and decided there seemed to be no man coming my way. I already got a child, I'm a single mom, and so I don't think I can get married.
But that is a place now, that is where the enemy try to like talk to you and tell you you're not worthy, and tells you can't make it. But let me tell you, Betty, that is a place you stand and you're like, you dust yourself.
That is very important, Liz. We're actually out of time. I want you to speak to the viewer who is in the same position as you, maybe not a pastor or could be a pastor, and they're shying off because how do I stand before people and preach to them the word of God? How do I stand before people who are married and counsel them and guide them on marital issues, and I am not married? How do I talk to the young people who have lost their self-esteem and they're looking to find the right partner? Are they not just going to fall in the hands of anyone because they're desperate, or are they really able to find the right partner? Please speak to that kind of a person.
I want to speak to you, my viewer, and I want to make you understand that for everything that happens in our lives, sometimes the enemy meant for evil. But let me tell you, out of that mess, God can bring a message. Out of that crooked ways, out of that message that you've gone through, that mess can become a voice, it can become a message for somebody who is going through the same thing that you have gone through. And today I normally talk to singles because my mess today have become a message, because today I am not even bitter of my past. Today I am really jubilating because today I have a voice and I'm able to tell someone that don't do this, this is what I did, and I enter to that dish. Today I am able to tell someone that don't do this, because if you do this, it's gonna bring bad repercussions in your life. I want to speak to you today, and I want to tell you that you need to dust yourself from where you are. Stop listening to what people they are speaking about you, because many are the voices that speaks to you and they tell you you cannot be able to do it. But you need to stand, you need to dust up yourself, and you need to shine, because whatever you're passing through in your life, or whatever you pass through in your life, God will use your mess to become a message. God will use your past to become an encourager to somebody. So you need to dust yourself, and you need to know that you need to forge forward. You need to look where God is taking you. You need to realize that what was it that God wanted me to learn through what I went through in my life. And I want to assure you, whatever you went through in your life, it was a training. And that training, God gonna use it to lift you up to become the woman or the man that God wants you to become. God bless you.
Okay.
Amen.
Perfect. That was awesome.
Amen.
And I hope and believe whoever the recipient of that message, it has gone deep inside their bellies. It has gone deep, deep inside.
Amen.
They are going to arise and dust themselves. They're not going to beat up themselves for the past mistakes. And they're actually going to find the right partner.
Exactly.
Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you so much for
hosting
hosting me.
It has been good.
I am so excited to be here today.
Okay.
Amen.
Thank you, viewer, for watching. It has been a lovely, lovely program and discussion we had. I assured you that at Chungu, you'll always find the best. You'll find the right counsel that you need even for your life. Even now, you need to arise and find that right partner, putting into consideration the right guidance that you have received. I thank you so much for sending in your text messages, and I thank you also for watching our program today. See you next time. I have been your host. My name is Betty Akuku.